Tonight, we are taking a look at some of the recovery efforts that are taking place after the July 4th floods in central Texas. The flooding claimed the lives of more than 130 people in the Texas Hill Country. That includes 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic. 6 months later, we know Camp Mystic plans to reopen its Cypress Lake location with a new flash flood warning system. That's uphill from its Guadalupe location. As we take a look at the damage along the Guadalupe River, our media partners at Texas Monthly are looking at an ambitious plan to replant a large number of trees right in that area. We've got Will Bostwick. He has an inside look at this effort. Will is joining us now. And Will, talk a little bit more about how many trees have been lost in the floods and how all of this is now impacting the ecosystem.
Yeah, so, there's no clear estimate yet. The number that folks have is that roughly 52% of the vegetation along the Guadalupe was lost. And a lot of folks think that's an undercount. They think it could be a lot more than that. But that's based on before and after aerial surveys. And so the very roughest number they have on trees, and this is based on comparisons to past floods where they do have some records, it could be upwards of 100,000. Could be more than that, could be less than that, but that's sort of the ballpark we're talking about.
Will, in the days after the July 4th floods, we do know that many volunteers, they headed down there. They tried to help really in any way that they could, frankly. We also know that there was a lot of confusion during the response from volunteers. How did that impact the land in that area? Is that something that also was looked into?
Yeah, so, folks in Kerrville that I talked to and throughout Kerr County were really grateful for that volunteer response. But yeah, you're right. There was some damage associated with the flood response. And I want to be real clear that no one begrudges those who were looking for survivors, those who were trying to recover bodies, those who were restoring infrastructure. But I was told by some folks in the area, particularly conservation-minded folks, that actually the cleanup effort may have done more ecological damage than the flood itself. The river ecosystem is used to floods. It knows how to sort of build back from that. But there were all kinds of vehicles along the banks. A lot of trees that were downed could have just been sort of left where they are, and that helps sort of regenerate the ecosystem. But a lot of that was hauled out, and so it sort of halts the recovery process and increases the likelihood of things like erosion and bank destabilization. Yeah. So I mean, there were lessons learned.
Will, there is a plan, though, right, to replant thousands of those trees right in the area, and the San Antonio Botanical Garden is playing a big role in this effort. What are we expecting now about that plan as it continues to move forward?
Yeah, so kind of immediately after the flood, the folks at the San Antonio Botanical Garden, like folks all over the state, all over the country, knew that they wanted to help. So they pretty quickly decided on this plan, this very ambitious plan to plant 50,000 trees back along the banks of the Guadalupe. So all of the seeds that they're using to grow these trees that they will ultimately plant are from the Guadalupe River watershed. And I actually went out with them as they were collecting these seeds. And so over the next 2 years, those seeds will grow into trees, and they will plant those seeds along the banks.
How about the plan then to add grass back into the area? That's also something that botanists and folks who really know about this, they consider that to be really important.
Yeah, and that's maybe at this, right after the flood, that's even more important, right? Those are the things that are going to grow fast and stabilize those banks, prevent erosion, allow water to kind of filter through naturally. And so you're right, there are folks already working on that, particularly the Hill Country Alliance, which is this conservation nonprofit based in the Hill Country. And so, yeah, they're working on that. They've held these workshops. They've handed out seeds. They've handed out live plants. And so, yeah, anyone who's interested, who has property along the river, if they reach out to the Hill Country Alliance, they can sort of hook them up with what they need.
A lot of great work happening out there, and a lot of great reporting on your end as well to bring all of that information to light. So we really appreciate it. Our thanks to you, Will Bostwick, for tonight's conversation. And of course, you can read His entire article right now, it's available on TexasMonthly.com.